Happy Saturday, everyone. Pam Savage, owner of Young at Heart Creations. I've been in my craft room all day long and it's been a little quiet up here, so I thought I would invite you in with me. I'm gonna work on, we've used this napkin on a couple different things, but it is just such a pretty napkin, and I had some left over and I've been trying to decide what I'm gonna do with this little box here. It's kind of a, I don't know what you would call it. You could paint either side, I guess, but it already had the little hanger on the back. I think I got it at Hobby Lobby. At one point was going to do something different with it and ended up doing something else. So I'm going to put it on here today and I'm going to paint a little bit around it. So I painted it white because I want the true colors of this napkin to show through. The outside edge we're going to do in that village green that I love, and I don't think they make it anymore. I'm not sure. It's Ceram Coat, and it's village green. I love it, and I know Deco Art probably has something very close to it. I just haven't taken the time to find out what it is yet. But so this is what we're going to work on today. This one's actually got two on it, so I'll need to cut it down and get it going. But before we put the napkin on, I want to go ahead and get my painting done on it because I don't want to get it on the napkin. And what I did, I don't know if you can see the pencil mark. Yeah, it's showing up okay. I just laid my napkin down on here to kind of get a rough idea of where I need my paint to stop because I don't want the green underneath the napkin. So that's what those pencil marks are for. But let me show you what I did this morning. Just kind of playing around with some patterns on these hats. I have not sealed this one yet, but I'm working on hats to take to the Florida event, Tamara Bennett's live event in Destin, Florida in September. So what do you think about this one? I'm not going to put it on because it'll mess my hair all up. I don't have much to mess up, but anyway, it will. But so I did this little pattern this morning. What do you think about that one? Hi, Jean. Hi, Miss Sharon. All right, so I did that. And then we finished, let me put this over here so it doesn't get paint on it. And then last night on the live, we did this. And yes, Miss Peggy Wilson, I did go back and add just a little bit. I outlined the center in black. And I think that's the only other thing that I did put some white, a little bit of white accent on the leaves, but I think that's the only other thing I did. This is the canvas tote bag that we did at our last paint party with a different design on it, but got that finished last night. So into some leopard print right now. I don't really have anything leopard print, but everybody else seems to, so I thought, well, we'll just go ahead and do some too. All right, so I'm going to hang that up there. Maybe. There we go. And I apologize for my scratchy allergy voice. Texas right now is one of the highest pollen count states in the United States. I think we were in the top 3 or maybe even up higher than that. I'm not sure what the highest pollen count, and I can tell it. So I may have to be stopping and getting a drink of water every now and then. And then before we get started on this little project, this is what our virtual online, get a little bit closer so you can see the bird's eye in it. This is what we're going to be doing on April the 24th, 25th, and 27th. This is on a 14-inch round. I get them at Hobby Lobby. And they come in a package of 3. Now there's also one that comes in a package of I think 6, but it's a lot thinner. I like the ones that comes in package of 3. I think it's $12.99 for the package of 3. And so that's what we're going to be working on in that class. And I do need to let you know that the link when you go to my website, youngatheartcreations.com, that's where you're going to register. You would click on link on events and then go to the Spring is in the Air link. But that link is down at the moment. And my daughter that works on that, and my husband was out of pocket all day, but she's in California at the moment. And we'll be working on that tonight to get that back up and running. So I don't know what caused it to go down, but the link itself is down to get to any of my events. But tomorrow it should be back up and running, and you'll just go to youngatheartcreations.com, click on events, and then click on Spring is in the Air to register. Once you get registered and paid, it will send me notification, and you'll go into our private group page here on Facebook, Spring is in the Air, and ask to join. So this is what we're going to be doing. Once you get in and get on that Facebook group, your block poster line pattern will be there for you to download. To get this size, you would decrease it by to 90%, but you can do it any size you want. If you have something else to paint on that's not exactly this size, that's fine. Just make your pattern however you want it. The fun thing about this, I mean, we'll be doing some shading and lining just like I do on all of my projects, but the main thing about this is I'm going to show you how to do this. I've, supplied you with the line drawing, so you're just going to have to trace the pattern on with graphite, but for me to just sit down with a little piece of paper and get this drawn out and worked up for you, I did it without anything technical, no computer, nothing like that. No programs. So I'm going to show you some little tricks that I use to put things together to get it where I want to. I'm old-fashioned. I'm not a technical person, trying to learn. But there's always a way around that if you think hard enough. Think outside the box. Is the other way faster and probably more precise? Yes, and I'm trying to get there. But until you do, and if you don't have a lot of equipment, or you can still do it. This is just a very simple little drawing that I did, but I'm not an artist. I can't draw. I just can barely draw a stick figure, really. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So it's going to be fun. We'll start at 6 o'clock each one of those nights. It's only $10. And then we'll try to throw in some little techniques, just practice on our shading or something of that nature. Okay, so there's my spiel on that. We've got several of you that have already signed up without any problems at all, and that is awesome. Okay, I think I'm going to go ahead and go on the edges as well with this Village Green. I've had this probably 20 years or plus, at least. At least. So I'm trying to use it sparingly. I love it, but I do need to take it to the store and see if I can match it with something that Deco Art has. Okay, let me get us pulled up over here so I can see your comments. There we are. Okay. All right, so I'm going to bring you down so we can get started on this. I think I'm going to go ahead and use, this is a 1/2 inch flat. All the paint was peeling off of the handle, but I like this one, so I just took painter's tape and wrapped around it so that the paint's not peeling off everywhere onto my project. Okay, so we're going to go just barely over the line. So I make sure that the napkin does cover it. Now, if I painted the whole thing green and then put the napkin on it, that green would show through the napkin and change all the colors in the napkin. Such a pretty green. It's just a soft, kind of pastel-y green, I guess you would call it. It's actually just a little bit darker than the color of my living room and dining room. I just actually realized that. And I've really enjoyed it on my walls. It's not quite this dark on my living room, but pretty close to it. And then we're going to paint a little bit on the border as well. You know, I can't just leave it blank. Okay, can somebody comment, just say hello, so I can tell that I'm getting comments. I'm not seeing anything. I want to make sure it's not frozen up. Rarely do I go live on Saturday, but I'm really trying to get the word out about that virtual online class workshop because I'm behind advertising it and getting it all together because of my mom. Hello, Miss Vicky. Okay, let me see. I can see your comments on my phone, but I cannot see it on my iPad. So let me go back in and see if I can get it to pull up. So I want to be able to see what you're talking about. Okay, there we go. Hi, Miss Anna. My mom is doing good. I mean, her life is, her health is never going to be the same. We are dealing with some mobility issues and speech, some things of that nature, but just praying that she'll get back to her baseline where she was. She's a trooper. She's hanging in there. But it is just incredible how in a matter of seconds, your life, your daily routine can just change. Now, while this is drying, we'll do the edges, and we'll put one more coat on this. And before I put the napkin on, I'm going to go ahead and do the sides, the detail work on it. Okay, I'm just painting the sides here, so nothing fancy, but I don't know how to hold it so that you can see it. But I'm just painting the edges. I think it's going to be really pretty. I just got to remember to make the top where they've already got the hook. And I didn't put an apron on, so I've also got to remember to try to stay clean. I'm not going to do anything to the back of it, the inside of it. It'll just be up against the wall. I guess you could technically, put this on a tier tray as well. Maybe a little big. Let's see what size it is. It's it's 8 by 8. So 8 inches all the way around. So I'm trying to get all my little things that I've had laying around ready to do for weeks. So I'm trying to catch up on all that. I'm going to do a couple of patriotic things. And then I'm probably going to go ahead and start on some back to school and our teacher things and Christmas. If I don't get started on my Christmas stuff, by the time the craft show gets here, I'll be Sure wishing I had of. Okay, one more little corner here, and then we'll put a second coat. And we'll start some detail. Haven't even really thought about what I'm going to do for detailing on it. But we'll just kind of let it evolve as we go. What's everybody doing on a Saturday? It's very nice here, but very windy. All right, my comments have disappeared again. Hi, Vicki. I haven't even planted flowers for this year. I've got some from last year coming up. That come up every year, but as far as planting some new ones, I have not. Okay, let's get a second coat on this real quick. Got a little bit off the line there, so I'll go back and put some white on it. Maybe we'll do like a grapevine around it. Okay, just going back over the edges. I feel a late night coming on with all these projects I've got going. Don't you hate it when you get a favorite color that is your go-to color or your favorite paintbrush that just does everything for you and they discontinue it? Does anybody know what's going on with Hobby Lobby and all the paintbrushes? I mean, are they going to carry paintbrushes at all anymore? Looks like they're discontinuing. I don't know if they're discontinuing all of them or just certain brands. Okay, let's give that a quick dry. Let me put a little bit of white on that spot that I went over a little bit. just enough to get it where it won't show through. Okay, now let's get that dry. Hi, Miss Sandy. Hi, Jan. Jan, I haven't seen you on here live in a long time. Hope all's going well for you. These sides good and done. You'll have to go back and watch the replay if you're just now hopping on to see some of the other things that we worked on last night and this morning. I'm just going to paint the sides. I'm not going to add any detail to the sides, just the top here. So I'm thinking, what do I want to put right here on the edges? Didn't even really pick out colors because I didn't know what I was going to be doing. I think we'll do let's do kind of a vine with some flowers with the, we'll go through our colors there. So let me get another brown, a little bit lighter brown. I need to go a little bit lighter than that. We'll use this, it says it's gray, but it's got a gray tone. It's kind of a khaki color. It's the ram coat. And we're going to go with this brown with burnt umber. This is an old one, so let's see if I can even get anything to come out of it. It does look pretty gray when it dries, but I think it'll work. We're going to try it anyway, if there's anything left in it. I think it's pretty dried. Maybe I can pour some out. That's another thing I'm doing, is trying to use up some of my older paints that I literally have had some of my paint for over 30 years. And I'm still using it. Okay, I'm just putting a little bit out and we'll add some more if we need to. So I'm just gonna grab a long liner brush. This one is a Royal Inling Nickel #1. So it's just got long bristles on it. I'm gonna water my paint down a little bit. Anytime I'm doing line work, I like for it to be pretty much an ink consistency. Okay, I'm gonna hold my breath. Just gonna go for it. We'll see how it turns out. Thank you, Jan. Hi, Miss Peggy. Mom is home. We've definitely got some hurdles that we've got to get through. We go to the doctor next Thursday to check on some therapy for her legs and her speech. So I'm anxious to see what they decide to do for her. I'm sure it'll be in-home therapy. And I'm just no rhyme or reason, just making some twig-like vines going through here. And we'll just go all the way around. And then we'll add some flowers. The napkin is very colorful and has enough in it that I don't want to get too busy on the sides here. Okay, so I'm just kind of putting my base line down here to work off of. And I need to keep in mind which is the top part of the frame. Okay, so here's what we've got so far. And let's just work our way around. We just want some sticking out. Now, if I had put the napkin on first, I would be laying my arm all over it, and it would just be so much harder to paint. So that's why I wanted to get all this done before we put the napkin on. I just laid my hand in that. See if we can catch it with a baby wipe. Probably just cover it up with another vine. Yep, good enough. Hi, Laura. Well, I didn't go live this morning, Sandy. I didn't go live. I was just showing what I had done this morning. I did another hat. And this is the first leopard print petals I've ever done. So these hats are going to the Southern Adornments live in September. So I've got a lot of hats to paint between now and then. So I'm not selling them anymore on my website. Now after the live and after the craft show in November, if there are any left, then I'll start, I can start selling them again to the public. And then we'll put that lighter color in here too to give it some contrast. And by the time you get the flowers and everything on it, a lot of this is covered up. but you don't really know what's going to show and what's not. So it's just better to go ahead and do all of it. And then we'll look at it and see where we need to fill in some. All right, I'm gonna dry that so I'm not rubbing my arm across it again. I ordered the hats off of Temu, T-E-M-U-E. I just went onto Amazon and typed in baseball caps or women ball caps, I think is what it was, and then it took me to the company Temu for some of them. They're soft. The first one I did, I've already shipped it out, was a stiffer material, and I actually like it better, but these are working okay. And they are softer. But as far as painting on, the other one was a little bit easier to paint on because it was stiffer. This one kind of, it's soft and gives a little bit, so it was a little bit harder to keep it where I needed it to be while I was painting. It's completely opposite of what I kind of had in my mind that I was going to do. Here's our top, so it needs to come kind of down this way. Ran my hand in it again before I got it dry. So I'm just kind of crisscrossing back and forth. Okay, I think we need a few more sticking out here. Okay, I think we're good with that color. Now let's dry it. We'll put a little bit of our lighter color on. We won't put as much of this one on, just a little bit here and there. Just to give it some contrast. And again, most of it's going to be you know, covered up with color anyway, but just gives it another layer. I'm not putting near as much of this one. The harder you press, the fatter the vines will be. So I'm giving it a very light touch, but in some places I'm purposely pressing down because all the twigs are not the same size in a real vine. Look, isn't it going to be so pretty? I'm starting to envision it now. I always second guess myself when I get on here live and think, these women are going to think you're crazy. You're not using a pattern, you're just going for it. But sometimes those turn out to be the best ones. Thank you, Miss Jan. I use fabric paints a lot, Laura. I mean, well, not a lot. Depends on what it is. No, I got my order like 4 days before they said it would be here, Sandy. It came really quick, and I was pleased, you know, pleased with it. It's not the exact cap that I wanted, but it's what I ordered from them, and it's exactly what, you know, they said it would be. I got some in yellow and pink and denim. I didn't get a lot of them because I wanted to try them first before, you know, I ordered a lot more. Okay, I'm going to pull out some colors right quick to go for the flowers. Let's do some pink. And I've already got yellow out over there. We'll do some coral. And maybe some blue. Okay, so I'm just pulling some colors that are in the napkin. Of course, we'll use some white as well. So this is periwinkle, and it's got a little bit of a purple tint. This is lavender, definitely purple. And then dragon fruit, and this one is apple barrel, and it's tropic orange. So kind of a coral color. And I'm just going to take my stylus, and we're just going to start putting some colors on there, and I will use white as well. But on the ball cap, since I knew they wouldn't be washed a lot, I'm just doing it with regular paint, and then I'm putting this Liquitex, I know it's backwards, Liquitex sealer, and I've got it in a matte finish. It was $18.99 at Hobby Lobby over in their art section, not their craft section, but where the brushes and all of that is. And then we're going to also want some yellow. Okay, so I'm just going to start randomly putting some flowers on here. Now I could use my little tool that I love so much to put some flowers on here and do that, but I'm just going to go with dots, just as if they were just flowers within themselves. And we'll go all the way around with one color. And then we'll come back. I'm going to do white last. But already, I can't hold it up too much because those will drip, but it's looking like flowers. just with greenery and vine and color, you're automatically going to have it looking like plants. Not doing them in a straight line, I'm just kind of staggering them. The hardest thing will be, for me, is to not stick my arm in it. And we'll let these, they'll be drying while we're putting the other colors on, and then we'll give it a little dry with the heat dryer, and we should be able to put our napkin on. Okay, we'll stop there with the pink for now. We may have to add some more in. Let's go in with some purple. Very springy, summery. This purple's very thin, so I have to be careful and not let it splatter. Now, these colors are looking pretty, but they'll really come to life when we put the dots of white in. Peggy and I were chatting last night during the live, Peggy Wilson, and we were talking about all the things that we used to make. We used to paint a lot of t-shirts. My very first thing to ever paint was a sweatshirt. Had a little puppy dog with a Christmas bow in its mouth that it had chewed off of a package. It was really, really cute, but that's all it took to get me hooked. I did it in a class that we had at our community college just to see if I would like it, because my thought was I cannot draw a stick figure, but I really want to try to learn to paint. And once I did that one thing, I just have been painting ever since. And that was about a year before my daughter was born. She's 34, so I've been doing this for about 35 years. I was doing other crafts, decoupage and things of that nature, making gifts, but never really painted. Just never thought it was a possibility, because I knew that I was not an artist, what I consider an artist anyway. And I've since learned that we're all artists in our own way. Okay, so we've done purple, we've done our pink. Let's put some coral, or let's go with some yellow. This is Sunny Day. And I'm dipping back in after about every couple of dots. Now this would have been pretty too, to do just a little green vine with some little rosebuds all around it. I mean, just a lot of different ways you could go with this. But because of our napkin, I thought this would work. And this is so satisfying, just dotting everywhere. I can definitely get carried away with it. And Peggy, I think you got on here a little late. I did add a couple of more things to the bag last night. You'll have to go back and watch the first of the replay. Just a couple of little things. Very minor things, but I think it made a difference. Okay, so you can see we're starting to get our napkin colors that they're gonna play off each other. I think we'll do, I don't think we're gonna need the blue actually. We'll do white. We might do the coral. This is where the Lazy Susan will come in handy, but I've got something else that I'm using it for with some of my supplies. Okay, so that's our yellow. Get some of this in here, maybe not quite as many. Every color adds just a little more depth and layer. A little larger. Now see what I mean about the vine, you know, covering most of it up. We may go through and put a few little leaves. I don't know. We'll see what it looks like when we're done. Okay. Let's see. Let me check on a different color blue. Let's do Blue Fog. It's Anita's, but it doesn't have quite as much purple as that Periwinkle, and since we've already got purple, let's just go with some blue, and we're just going to put it here and there, and then we're going to put our white on. It doesn't show up quite as much, but it's definitely, I mean, it's there, and it's just pulling out that next layer of the colors. We may not even have any room for leaves. But I don't think it's going to need any. Okay, now let's go in with the white. White is just going to make all the other colors really stand out. Okay, so look at the difference in with the white on this side and without it on all the other sides. Just really makes those other colors stand out. And it really doesn't take long. We've used what? Counting the white. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colors with the dots already. This is our last row. Last color. It's like putting Christmas ornaments on a tree. You don't want to put 2 reds right next to each other. 2 red ornaments. You have to kind of separate them, space them out. Okay, I think that's plenty of white. All right, let's go ahead and dry it just a little. I can't get down too close to the dots or they'll get too hot and just kind of sink down like a fallen cake. If you take it out of the oven too soon, how it just falls. Hello, Miss Heather. Heather, I was just rearranging some things in my craft room, getting some things ready to paint, and noticed I have not mailed your bag to you from the paint party that you didn't get to come to. So I've got it sitting out in the middle of my room so that I won't forget. I will get that mailed to you next week. Now we could have just put a few individual flowers, like the messy flowers with some little leaves on it. So we could have definitely done it that way too. Got to keep this moving or it'll get too hot. But I want to make sure they're good and dry enough before we start trying to put that napkin on. Mr. Pam went up into Oklahoma today on the Blue River and did some trout fishing with some of the kiddos and our grandkids. It's a beautiful, beautiful spot on the river, just gorgeous. and they always catch 2 or 3 different kinds of trout. I am not a fish eater. I just cannot eat fish of any kind, but I could fish all day long. They really got some beautiful ones. Didn't need any, so they released them, put them back in, but just a pretty day. A little windy. Okay, I think we're good enough now. To go ahead and start working on our napkin. Okay, so here's the top because of my hanger. And I noticed that I got some orange on this bottom part here, so I'm going to cover that up right quick while I'm seeing it. Okay, I'm going to set that, and I'm so sorry for the coughing and the scratchy throat, but again, it is that time of the year. Okay, so this is 2 different panels of a napkin. I had already cut it in half to use it on our last project. So I need to cut it down the middle. And we may have to fill in with our green a little bit if it doesn't exactly match, or cover up the green, the white. Okay, and I do think I'm going to have to come in just a little further with that green. So let's put just a little more of that, just a little bit on the inside of the edge. I didn't come in quite far enough. Now these aren't completely dry, so I do need to be cautious of that. I'm going to stand it up on its chisel edge. And just go right on the inside. Doesn't have to be perfect, a perfect line. Because that's the inside of it's not going to show. And it doesn't have to be super dark. Putting some dots back that I painted over. Paint all over me. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Let's get it good and dry before we lay it over it. Heather, I got it at Hobby Lobby a while back. I mean, it's been a while. You're right, Jen. It doesn't take much to get it hooked. Thank you, Jan. That was so sweet. Hope you get to come to the craft show this year. Okay, let's see if that did it. Pretty much did. I got a couple more little spots I want to put a little more on. I'm going to cover up that little jagged part that comes out here because I have a feeling it would show through if I didn't put some on it, some white over it. You probably can't see it on camera, but after I dried it, there's some spots that I can really see through. Just wanted to get those covered up before we put our napkin on. And I just switched to a small round just to go in and fill in those places. Sorry, I'm getting out of camera. Okay, that should do it. I've gotten really good about drinking my amount of water I'm supposed to have every day. Heather, it's hollow inside. I mean, there's nothing in the back of it. And it's 8 inches. 8 inches square. Okay, so we've got our napkin cut, but remember, napkins always have at least 2 plies and usually 3 or 4. This one is a 3 ply, so there's our first one. And I just kind of lick my finger a little bit. Just enough to get it started. Just put that aside. side. We may use it here in a minute. Okay, and we're good. You can see the border, I mean the green underneath it some, but I'm fine with that. I think we're good. Okay, so let's get our good old Mod Podge out. And I'm going to switch to a 1-inch flat. Actually, it's about a 3/4. Yes, 3/4 inch flat. And we're going to put our Mod Podge just right on top. We can actually go ahead and put it across the whole thing. I mean, don't worry about it if you get it outside of it. I'm probably going to spray seal this one anyway. Just going to make sure those dots are good and dry. And you want to make sure you get it all covered. And this has got some rough spots in it there, and I sanded it down as best I could. Okay, stand up so I can center it. Make sure one more time I got the top up there. Yep. Okay, and then I'm going to take a soft chip brush. This one actually has nylon. I'm going to start from the center and work my way out. Now you could do this with the wax paper, parchment paper, and iron over it if you wanted to have less wrinkles, but I just kind of like the wrinkles. Okay, I'm going to need to put a little more Mod Podge under some of the edges here. Don't want it lifting up. This is not something you would be getting wet. I mean, it's not like it's a coaster or something you're going to put something wet on it. But you still want it, you don't want dust getting under it. A little bit up here. Okay, I think we got our edges down okay, so let's go ahead and make sure we got it pounced down. And what I can do where this edge is showing through, we can put a little more, maybe some flowers, more of these little dots, just here and there. Okay, I think we're good for that. So while our paint is still wet, I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to put a few more dots. And we'll go back with the other colors too. Paint's starting to dry a little bit. But that just helps camouflage it. Like it was just supposed to be that way. Okay, let's do the pink, and it is dry. So let's put out some fresh. It doesn't take much, I mean just a drop, no more than we're doing. That is a bright pink. But it is definitely pulling your eye away from, oops, that edge that's on the inside of that green that's underneath. Yeah, stick some yellow on there. I need to let them dry good. That one got a little big, but it'll be all right. And remember, we're doing it on paper now versus doing it on the wood. So you get a little bit of a different texture. Okay, I don't think we need the other colors. I think we're good on that. Okay. Think it needs anything else? I think it's pretty busy enough. But we definitely pulled out some of those colors. We could put a little bit of green, the dark green. In the vine, just to make it look like a little bit of greenery. And I'll go to my tiny little 10-aught liner brush for that. Thank you. Oh, I know the colors. Roxy says she still has her granddaughter, so you'll watch. Oh, okay. All right. Tell your granddaughter hi. Hi, Miss Ashley. It didn't tell you. Maybe you need to go back and hi, Marie, and click on the get all notifications again. Hi, Francis. It has kicked me off of several people. I've had to go back in. I thought, why am I not? It did me that way with you, Ashley, and Francis too. I was like, I'm not getting notifications when they're going, you know, it dawned on me I hadn't seen y'all in a while. I had been so busy I hadn't noticed, and then I thought, I have not seen them in a while. And then I go back in and I had to re-click it to tell me when you go live. Okay, I'm just going to put a few little green sprigs in here. We'll try and see. I don't want to cover up any of the dots that we've done. It's hard when you don't have something to lay your hand on. When you're painting a piece, it makes a huge difference. You just don't have quite as much control. Over your brush. And we're just putting a little bit of the green in here. These make a really pretty, let's see if I can reach it over here, like a grapevine wreath heart. And it's kind of what I did on this little tiny one. Just lots of different flowers. We did these for a ladies' day as a take-home gift one year. And it's that same thing, just going around. We just drew a little heart shape with the chalk pencil and then just went around it with this little vine technique. Same way you would do a bird nest. So I'm really just throwing this in here to get us a little bit of color to break all the brightness up. My birds are singing loud out there. Okay, well, we're back to the top, so a little in here, and I think we'll call it finished. I'll have to put the sealer over. I'll put another coat of Mod Podge, and then I will probably spray seal it. Okay, And there we go. Isn't that pretty? Just the colors in the napkin made it so easy. I mean, you just couldn't go wrong pretty much no matter what color you chose. Let me get you pulled back up here. Hello. Whew, right in your face, sorry. Okay, so here we go. So my walls are almost that color here. Here's what we did last night, live. I just added a few more little details to it, but it's a canvas bag. Just did that, and then this morning I didn't go live, but I was just testing out to see what this would look like on the hat. So I did a denim hat in the leopard print. I've got several more of those to do for the live. And then, what else did we do? I think that's all I've done this morning. I've been doing some bookwork, the part I don't like, but David wasn't here and I had to get some done. So, and then this is what we'll be doing in the virtual workshop. There's several more things you can add to it if you want to, and we'll go over that. It's $10, and it will be on April the 24th, 25th, and then we'll skip that Wednesday and do the 27th. So 3 days for $10. We'll break it down step by step, and I'm going to show you the unique ways that I got my pattern without using anything on a computer. I know. Thank you, Francis. Love the heart. Love that heart. It's beautiful. Okay, I'm not sure which heart you're talking about. But thank you, Jan. You always encourage me. Jan is one of my cheerleaders. So this is what we're going to be doing. But I do need to let you know, again, I said this at the beginning, but our link to get in to register and pay the $10 so that you can go to the Facebook group page is down tonight. And my daughter is in California and will be back late tonight and is going to work on it either tonight or in the morning. And I got a message from my son. He said he might look at the website too, so I was seeing if that's what that was about. But anyway, so it should be back up and running tomorrow morning, or at least after church time tomorrow. So I'm not sure why the link went down, but I would try it after lunch tomorrow. Those of you that have been trying to get in today to register, I apologize that it went down. Y'all know me, I'm not a techie person, so when it went down, I don't know what to do. Call my tech person. So anyway, we'll have it back up by tomorrow, and thank you for all of those of you that have already registered, paid, and gone in and already downloaded your pattern, and yours is ready. So what you will do is go to my website, youngatheartcreations.com, and once it's back up, you'll click on events, which is up at the top of the page. It's just a little word that says events. And then you'll see this for the Spring is in the Air workshop. You'll click on that and it'll take you through the steps to register. Once you pay and register, I will get a notification of that. And then you're going to go in and click on, go into the Facebook and pull up Spring is in the Air workshop. And you'll send a request to me to be approved to join that private group. And this line drawing will not be available outside of that group. So it's just private to that group. But I cannot wait. I think it's going to be so much fun. So much fun. We'll do some shading. We'll do some line work. We'll practice shading on just a piece of poster board. We'll do some things like that. We've got several different brushes that we're going to be using, and then some other things that we're going to use that I used in this. So go in, and once you get registered, try that tomorrow and go ahead and get everything downloaded. You can do any size you want. This is a 14-inch. That's what we're going to do it on. But if you don't have a wood round and you want to print it out and paint it on something else, go for it. I mean, we could put it on anything. That's just what I had available. I got it at Hobby Lobby. So you did try earlier today, Sandy. Yeah, it is down completely for everyone. Thank you, Miss Sandy. Thank you. And I want to thank Roxy for the stars last night. Roxy sent stars last night, and I was so appreciative, but I had to admit to her, I didn't even know what the stars were. I didn't know what you do with them, what they're for. So I had to ask somebody today, I got stars last night. but I don't know what they're for. You know, is it like a star you get put on your paper with the teacher in the class if you've done something good? And anyway, so they let me know stars are like a tip. It is money, like a tip. So I wanted to thank Roxy again for that. And thank y'all for all the hearts. Facebook really, really looks at things like you commenting during the live. And if you give hearts or thumbs up or things like that, Facebook really looks at that to spread our reach out a little further. So I'm going to let this dry. And then I'm going to put a sealer, I'm going to put some more Mod Podge on it. And then I'll go spray seal it. I'm not even going to do anything to the back. I'm going to leave it just like that. I think it would be cute sitting on a shelf because it is wide enough that it can just sit on a shelf. But it also has a hanger on it that, you know, somebody could hang it like that. So that's it. That's a Saturday live, y'all. That's 2 lives, 2 days in a row. So I'm excited. I'm trying to get back in the groove of things now that I'm back home, and hopefully I've got so much painting to do. I'm going to try to hop on here as much as I can. So try tomorrow to get in to register. I would say after lunch sometime, give everybody time to get out of church. You know, if she doesn't get it fixed tonight, she'll have to work on it after church. So anyway, I'll be watching that, and I will post a notification on this page when that is back up and running. So if she gets it running tonight, I will post a notice on there tonight that it's up and running. Okay, y'all enjoy it too. Thanks a lot. Thanks for hopping on with me. Bye-bye.